This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you by the Daily Herald.
Sitting here with Joe Kilbride, head coach for the varsity squad of Benet Academy girls basketball. Thanks for giving us a couple minutes of your time, Joe.
Happy to do it. Thanks for talking to me.
Absolutely. So you're new this year to the head coaching position. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about the historic, iconic coach Peter Paul stepping down last year after 29 years, over 600 or more than 600 wins. But you've been with this program, with this team for a number of years, about a decade, in fact. So I would imagine that the transition isn't too much of a deal for you. Just kind of walk me through how it's gone for you so far.
Yeah, it's been fine. I mean, it is a little different. There's no question. Part of it is just Peter was a good friend, and obviously a legendary coach, 617 wins, and so I miss being around him. He's a good friend, and the girls miss him. He's meant a lot to Benet. He's meant a lot to the program. But you're right. I've been with him 10 years, and we go back farther than that. I knew him 30 years ago. But so it's been a fairly easy transition in terms of the girls. Probably the bigger thing is we had quite a bit of turnover within the staff, and so we've got all kind of new coaches in the entire staff. So we've been doing some work there to just try and get ourselves organized and ready for the season and at all levels of the program. So.
It's very early on in the season, obviously, just getting underway this week. But from a coaching standpoint, a philosophy standpoint, how much of an imprint or an impact maybe has Coach Paul had on you and the way you like to coach?
Yeah, Peter's, like I said, we've been very good friends, and he was very collegial in the way he worked with me and let me coach with him. And so, we're not going to change a lot of things. We're, kind of the way we've developed things, the way, we'd been doing things with Peter. My intention is to continue a lot of those same things. We've got a lot of the same girls back. We've got 8 returning kids, so it doesn't make sense to throw it out. We want to build on what we've already got. And Peter had set a really good foundation of kind of playing winning basketball, take care of the ball, guard, get good shots, those kinds of things. So, at some level, it's not rocket science. We're just trying to, build on that formula and continue to have success, hopefully.
If it's not broke, then why try to fix it?
That's the plan.
So as you mentioned, eight returners. You only lost 3 seniors from last year's squad. So there is quite a bit of continuity between last year and this year. How does that help not only the girls out on the court, but when you're game planning, when you know the opponents, you know what you have for your own team? How does that help you sort of draw up game plans, and how do the girls feel a bit better about having that continuity heading into this season?
Yeah, I think so. We 8 returning, and we have 5 seniors. So that many seniors always helps to create a certain, there's a lot of good leadership within this group, and they've done a really nice job in the summer as well as in the fall at open gyms. They actually got some work done, and so I'm pleased with where we're at going in. We obviously, like everybody, have a long way to go, but the nice thing about having that continuity, like you say, and having those kids back is a certain amount of things you can do in shorthand. You can go pretty quickly. You don't have a lot of time to get ready for those first games from November 3rd to, you're playing 2 weeks later. And you got to try and be prepared for virtually anything. So with a core group of returning like that, 3 starters, 5 seniors, 8 kids back, and it helped us to I think, try and get ourselves ready. Like I said, long way to go, but I feel good about where we are right now.
Each team has its own identity. Each year, no matter how many returning starters or how few seniors you're losing, each team has its own identity. What is this team's identity? Is it a running team? Is it a defensive team? What kind of makeup does this team have?
That's a good question, and one I think we're working to figure out. But we're going into it trying to be aggressive on both ends. We're looking to run the ball up the court. We're looking to pressure people. And our thinking there is, we want to see if we can play at that tempo. And if opponents prove us wrong, then we'll adjust and go from there. But it's easier to throttle back a little bit than to try and throttle up. And I do think it fits this group of kids. They seem like they want to get after it. 3 returning starters helps, but I think our depth potentially is going to be one of our strengths this year. our kind of marquee players get a lot of attention, but we really have, a nice group of kids with some depth that makes it a lot easier if you're going to try and play fast, play up tempo. So we're a little banged up right now. Two of those kids are not with us our first game here, and kind of iffy for the next one. But I think if we can get ourselves healthy and get everybody on the same page, I like our depth. I think it could be a real strength and allow us to play at that faster pace, a little more pressure, a little more up tempo, which it would be fun if we can get there and be successful with it.
Absolutely. Looking at the seniors you mentioned, and that kind of adds to the depth a little bit. What can you tell me about each of these seniors and what they bring to the table?
Well, you've got, so the two returning starters for us are Emily Ashew and Emily Schrammick, who are kind of part of our big three with Katherine Doyle, our junior point guard. But Emily Ashew is a 5'9" shooting guard, excellent shooter, combo guard probably in college because she can slide over, she handles the ball well. She's committed to play at Bradley University, and she brings, not only is she a skilled player, really good handle and shoots the ball very well, but she's a tough kid too, workaholic. Emily's one of those kids that's just constantly working to make herself a better player, has come a long way defensively and those kinds of things. Emily Schrammick, our other Emily senior, a 4-year player for us. She's been on our varsity for 4 years, 6 foot power forward, but really kind of a stretch four. Emily's a very good 3-point shooter, has expanded other parts of her game. She's always been a good shooter. Kind of my mission with Emily has been to try and get her to be more of an all-around player, and she's made a lot of strides in that respect. I expect her to rebound the ball this year for us very well, to defend better, all those kinds of things, and just be a player, not just a shooter. Which Emily's committed to play basketball at Northern Michigan University up in Marquette. Emily likes the snow, so it's a good fit for her up there. And then we've got Morgan Tamala as another senior, point guard, plays a little bit of the two for us. I think, in most high school teams, Morgan's a starter, but we've got Katherine Doyle, who's kind of a special point guard. But Morgan's very good. She really is. Very good shooter, very quick, pushes the ball really well, which is part of that depth I was talking about. Morgan's planning to play basketball, I think, in college as well. She's a high academic kid, and looking at some of those kinds of schools, the University of Chicago, Emory, Case Western type schools, and I think trying to find a good fit both academically and basketball-wise there for her. We have Emma Lavins, another senior, kind of an undersized post, very good athlete, has also been with us for several years now. Very smart kid, runs the floor really well. Kind of the dirty work kid. She's not a real, not a tough kid in terms of banging it up, but does all the little things. Good screener, all the little things that you really need somebody to do to make it all work. And then Colleen Pfister is kind of a swing player, very versatile. Nice thing about Colleen is I can play her at like 4 or 5 spots, and she sort of knows it all, and very high basketball IQ. And just all 5 of them are really just good people, good kids, have brought a good energy to the team, have brought the new kids along and made them feel comfortable. That's always an issue, trying to incorporate, even though we don't have a lot of them, you want those kids to feel comfortable, especially some of them are going to play meaningful roles for us, so they need to, feel like they're supported and enabled by those seniors. So.
You spoke a little bit about Katherine Doyle, and a potentially extremely special player for this program. Only a junior, so she still has room to grow, but already just watching her, she's extremely polished, and she seems to have a very good know-how on both sides of the court. Defensive positioning, when to push the ball on the offensive end. What can you say about how easy it makes your job, knowing that you have a very good point guard, a general as it were, out there on the court?
Yeah, very good point guards make bad coaches like myself look pretty good. Yeah, no, Kathleen does an excellent job for us, and she's a big-time recruit. I mean, she's got multiple offers already. We're talking, Big East, Big Ten, ACC, SEC, Pac-12, Ivy League. She's also a very high academic kid. So, she brings a lot to the table for us. Like you said, both sides of the floor. last year at the point guard position, and she was about maybe even 4 inches shorter last year. But despite that, from the point guard position, she led us in blocks, offensive rebounds, steals, assists. You know, she's one of those kids that stuffs the stat sheet. Even if she's not scoring, can make a significant imprint on the game. But she's been guarding the other team's best perimeter defender almost every game her entire career here. As a freshman, we started her, and she was guarding some very high-level players for us and doing an excellent job. And as she's gotten more, you know, as she's grown both physically and in her game, she's continues to add dimensions to it. She really understands the game and is continuing to learn how to make her teammates better. That's really kind of where she's at this year, is, you know, figuring out how to just run the team from the point guard position, because she's got good players with her. And so it's about picking your spots. It's about keeping other people involved. But you're absolutely right from the standpoint of, you know, anything I'm trying to do on the bench, having somebody like Kathleen to spearhead that gives you a pretty good chance of making it work. So.
Last question before I let you go. You're a longtime Lisle guy. You went to Benedictine. You've been involved here at Benet for, you know, over 30 years at this point, at some point or another. Just tell me, how gratifying is it for you to have this head coaching title? Obviously, you're very good friends with Peter, and you've learned so much from him, but getting that title and kind of etching your name into the stone as a head coach, I believe just the 4th in Benet girls history. What does that mean for you personally?
Yeah, it is gratifying. Like you said, I actually taught here early on in my career and was part of the boys program when Bill Geist had those very successful boys teams. So I kind of go back with the history and tradition of Benet basketball at large, and, you know, like I said, Peter and I have known each other for 30 years, and it's a lot of fun. It's basketball's a passion, and I have a great deal of affection for Benet, Red Wing Nation, the Benet community, and so I'm very happy to be part of the program and have an opportunity to make my contribution for, you know, I got my first win last night, and I got jokes, you know, texts from a couple people saying, all you need is, you know, 30 years of 20-win seasons, and you got a chance to catch Peter. So I got a long way to go to even get, you know, 50. But it's fun to be started. It's great that I've got this good group of kids to start me on that journey, and we'll see where it takes us.
As you said, a good team to start off with. Congratulations on your first win, and we look forward to seeing what your contribution is here at Benet for the years to come.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.